Just another day at the office.
Before I started playing hockey, I figure skated and power skated for a year. Funny story is when they finally wanted me to put on some tights and wear the pick skates, I said, enough of this, I gotta start playing hockey.
The NHLPA presents Be a Player, the hockey show on TSN. Brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. And by Upper Deck. You don't just watch the game, you play it.
Hockey in the South. First clue, maybe the palm tree. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Be a Player, the hockey show. I'm your host, Paul Romana, coming to you this week from Anaheim, home of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Paul Kariya plays in that team. More about Paul in a moment. Right now, I want to tell you a little bit about this beautiful structure, the Arrowhead Pond, or the Duck Pond, as some people like to call it. It's where the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim play. Very non-traditional hockey building. Note the palm trees, that's non-traditional, but also the exterior of this building clad in marble and stucco and lots of glass. You don't see that in a lot of hockey rinks, especially in the north. It is just beautiful to look at, a feast for an architect's eyes. Coming up in this show, Paul Kariya. Craig Simpson had a chance to catch up with Paul, one of the great rising young stars in the National Hockey League. You will really enjoy the time they spent together. Stick around for that. Lots of other things to watch as well. Wayne Gretzky along with great hockey moments. The great moment, if you're as old as me, you'll remember this one. Darryl Sittler, when he played for the Toronto Maple Leafs, had 10 points in a single game. If you're not as old as me and you don't remember it, watch it. You'll learn a little bit about it. Also coming up, John Davidson with Hockey Heroes, and the hero this time around, Bernie Boom Boom Geoffrion, the man who invented, if not certainly patented, the slap shot. That's all coming up. But we'll start things off with a slap shot or two in the Billboard Hit Parade.
Carpenter up the wing to Riche. Fire! Score! Juno to the net. Got a long shot. Got a shot off. Safe. Rebound. Score! What a Joey Juno! Out of midair. It's a leg drive.
He goes down right there, but watch his quick move. He takes it to the near side, and the wraparound.
There's a goal scorer's goal. He goes, he finds the puck, he turns, he shoots.
Well, here's Boom, working the body in behind the net.
Deck puts it on her front.
Look at the pass and the shot and save. Beautiful.
Bounces on it. Centers in front on goal. And Jablonski to save. Rebound.
Joshua taking over there, trying to work his way through. Deep drive.
Roller in on Ken Reggett. His feed knocked down by Kapanen. Shanahan walks right in. He scores!
Still has 22 seconds to work with. Yagara
Lines up. He scores! Wow! Without losing too much feet. Back toward the net. Save. Rebound. Score! Marty LaPointe! Is that a good one for him? Loses his stick in the process. Here's the blast. He scored! David Harpa through traffic finds the twine, and the Ducks, a minute 22 into this game, lead it 1-0.
Whoa, baby, just hold on a second there. You want to get a good look at Wild Wing defending the pond, which is, well, exactly what it is. It's a giant bronze statue of a duck dressed in a goaltender's costume. It's trivia time on Be a Player of the Hockey Show. This all does tie in. Our trivia question relates to goaltending. First, I'll tell you the rules. What you want to do is log on to the NHLPA website. NHLPA.com is the address. Once you get on there, just stand by. I'm going to ask you the question. Give the correct answer to that question and be the first person to do so. Before we give the answer later in the show, you will receive a hockey video game courtesy of EA Sports. We're going to take all the other correct answers and draw from that lot the name of one lucky individual who will receive an NHLPA hockey jersey with an autographed boot. It's a pretty good deal. Here's the question, goaltending related question, and you don't have to go back all that far. By all that far, I mean you're not going back to the 40s, 50s, 60s. Here's the question. Two goaltenders recording 4 shutouts in the same playoff year. Two different goalies, 4 shutouts each in the same playoff year. Good luck. What do you think there, Wild Wing? Paul Romanek with Craig Simpson inside the mighty duck pond. One of the buildings where Paul Kariya makes his living. Now, when you watch this guy out there, he's really captivating. He's really taken the California hockey market by storm, especially, of course, fans of the Mighty Ducks. But to tell you what, Paul Kariya already a very well-known hockey figure in Canada, especially before he ever set foot in the ice in the NHL. With this guy comes a wealth of international experience.
Well, there's no question for his age, he's done a lot. He's played in the World Junior Championships, the World Championships, and of course, we all saw the dramatic penalty shot in the Olympics. And one thing about Paul Kariya, his ability to excel at every level has been fantastic.
And one reason he does that, many people believe, it's kind of something that has followed Paul Kariya around during his career, is that he takes a very scholarly approach to the game. He's a thinking man's hockey player.
There's no question, Paul. His preparation is bar none. He spends a lot of time the night before reviewing plays in his mind, and when he gets out on the ice, you can tell it's all reaction. And obviously, the reaction from this crowd here has been fantastic to what Paul Kariya can bring to the game.
Now, what he brings to the game is, they call it visualization, some people do. He likes to visualize what's going to happen out there in the ice. So you're lucky, though, you won't have to visualize this interview. You can actually watch and listen to Craig and Paul.
Scoring attempt over 10%. Paul Kariya scores! Taps at the top of the circle. Deals down low. Kariya shoots and scores! Paul Kariya took the diagonal feed from Rugin and goes top shot.
Where did your interest in hockey begin?
Well, I don't know exactly how I got involved in hockey because neither one of my parents were ever from hockey backgrounds. But obviously coming from Canada, there's a lot of interest in hockey in Vancouver. It's a really big sport, and I guess I just picked it up and started playing. But before I started playing hockey, I figure skated and power skated for a year. And funny story is when they finally wanted me to put on some tights and wear the pick skates, I said, enough of this, I got to start playing hockey, and that's, I guess, where it started.
When you started making the transition into hockey, you said 15 is actually a late bloomer, really, to become seriously interested. What was the adjustment moving to Penticton and playing in the junior leagues there?
Well, it was really a smooth adjustment. Penticton actually folded the year before, and they got new ownership, and it was a brand new expansion team. And unlike other teams where there's sort of old boys network, or you've got rookie initiations, we just all came in as a group, and it was a nice situation to be in.
You had a lot of decisions, obviously, to make along the way. You left Penticton and decided to go to Maine and the University College route. How did that come about?
Well, that wasn't a difficult decision at all in terms of going the college route. From day one, I knew that I wanted to get a university degree, and if hockey was going to be there to help me along, that was terrific. And if it wasn't, I would have gone just as a student or golf scholarship or whatever.
Missed the ball, goes the other way. Paul Kariya breaking in, look at me, scores!
During your first year, you win the national championship, you win the Hobey Baker Award, which has never been won by a freshman before. Was it a little bit overwhelming as a young player?
Yeah, it was. It was certainly beyond my expectations. Individually, I think as a team, I realized right away that we had a great group of guys there that were really close-knit and obviously very talented. We had 3 solid offensive lines, and I realized, if the younger guys could step up their play, we'd have a shot at the national championship. But individually, never beyond my wildest dreams did I ever think that that I'd win the Hobey Baker. And still to this day, I felt that you know, my line mate Jim Montgomery probably deserved the award more than I did.
Next year was an awful big year for you. You had a little bit of Maine. You went back to school for a while. Explain a little bit your choices of taking the Olympic experience.
Well, the Olympics is something that I dreamed about as a kid more than the NHL, because growing up, and certainly now, I was never one of the biggest guys in my on my team or in my division. And coaches and fellow players and parents were always saying, well, the NHL may never work for you, but maybe you're going to have a shot at the Olympics because it's a lot more skill game, a lot more fast skating game. So I started focusing on that even before the NHL, and to have that come true and have an opportunity, just how it worked out to play in the Olympics was something that I'm really grateful for. And it's probably been one of the greatest experiences of my life.
It is over!
Was it the same feeling now moving to the World Championships and playing not with draft picks but with actual NHL players?
Yeah, that was very important in my career to play with NHL players. I think I learned more in the 2 World Championships than I have at any time in my life. Just watching guys practice and watching them play and being right there on the bench with them or playing with them was terrific for my skills to develop and know what I had to do to improve to make the next step to the NHL.
Now he gets some help, leaves it for the trailer, Karya to score!
You're drafted to Anaheim. Now your first year is a little bit of a strange one. You didn't get a full season in because of, again, something out of your control. How'd you prepare yourself to walking into a situation in Anaheim?
Well, I didn't really have much time to prepare. All the last summer it was going through contract negotiations. We didn't get it done until the end of August. So in the back of my mind, I was preparing myself to play in the NHL, but still there was thoughts there that, hey, it might not work out and I might be playing somewhere else. I think in a way it was almost fortunate for me as a player that the lockout did happen because it gave me more time to prepare, and I felt that I was in better condition the second time around than the first time around to play in the NHL.
Here comes Modano, 2-on-1 with Portnoy. Modano shoots!
Paul's, I think he's a joy to watch. I mean, the speed and the agility from side to side is great, and he's going to be a great power play guy, and he's got great skills too, great passing skills, and he's another guy who's great one-on-one who can beat defensemen, and then again he's got a quick shot too, and he's really gifted and really shifty, and he's tough to get a bid on when you're going after him to try to catch him or just even get in his way. He's going to be a great addition to the NHL and for years to come.
I've heard many things talked about the way you prepare yourself. You're a very cerebral player. You like to visualize. Is there a certain routine that you go through every day to prepare yourself for a game?
Well, there was last year, but one of the things about training your mind to play and train your body is that always new things come out that are better than what you did before. So for this year I've got a little different way, but basically during the night before the game I like to sit down in bed and picture in my mind some of the things that the other team's going to be doing, especially the goaltender, what are his strengths and weaknesses, what kind of defense they play, if they play a trapping style or a more wide open game. And I try and go through my head and prepare myself as best as possible. And then when it comes to the game, just go out and play it.
What kind of pressure is there here in Anaheim to make it a real contending team?
Well, I think in terms of time frame, I think that's something that the management or the coaching staff have a better idea than the players do. But I know from talking to the guys now, I mean, we want to make the playoffs this year, and that's the next step for our team. I think we've made the team's made great strides the last couple of years in getting ourselves in a position to be a playoff contender. I think with the acquisitions we made, we're well on our way.
Here comes Teemu, he shoots and scores! Teemu Solani picks up.
greatest things about living in Anaheim, living in a warm weather climate, is you get to do a lot of things during the season that other teams aren't able to do. I mean, you can play golf anytime you want, and you can play tennis whenever you've got a chance. If you got a day off, we got a lot of players on our team that like to play tennis, and you can go out there and have a good time on the tennis court and get away from the game.
Opportunity for Anaheim. Out of the corner, centered out front. To the line, Karya shoots and scores! Paul Kariya!
What can we expect from Paul Kariya in the future?
On the ice? It's always a difficult question. I'd like to, the biggest thing for me is I just like to improve every year as a player, and I don't know where I'm going to peak out at or where I'm going to come, but obviously I like to do the best that I can as a player, and same thing as a team. I mean, if in the 4 or 5 years down the road, if we're a Stanley Cup contender and we've got an opportunity to win the cup, I mean, that's something that I'm dreaming of doing. But individually, wherever the game takes me, I don't really like setting goals in terms of being an all-star or scoring this many points. I just like to go out there and improve as a player, and I found that theory or application has worked well for me.
This Be a Player profile has been brought to you by Duracell. You can't top the copper top. Great Hockey Moments with Wayne Gretzky is brought to you by Upper Deck. You don't just watch the game, you play it.
Darryl Sittler was one of the premier centers in the NHL. The heart and soul of the Toronto Maple Leafs, he cemented his place in history with an unprecedented scoring outburst.
Darryl Sittler, right in front of the net. Oh, that didn't take long.
Sittler had scored only 5 goals in his previous 17 games and was to face the rival Bruins in a sold-out Maple Leaf Gardens with a national television audience tuning in. With rookie Dave Reese minding the Boston net, Sittler put on a dazzling exhibition of offensive hockey. With help from line mates Lanny McDonald and Errol Thompson, Sittler scored 6 goals and added 4 assists as the Leafs stunned the Bruins 11-4. Darryl Sittler's 10 points in a single game is a milestone never reached before and not matched since, and stands as one of the great moments in hockey. Join me next time on Be a Player for more great hockey moments. I'm Wayne Gretzky.
It's time for John Davidson's Hockey Heroes, brought to you by Bauer and Cooper, the names wear.
He was born Joseph A. Bernard Geoffrion, but to Montreal Canadiens fans, he was known simply as Boom Boom.
His shot and another save by Simmons puts the rebound to Geoffrion, and his screen shot scores the first goal of the championship.
Bernie Boom Boom Geoffrion brought his powerful slap shot and flamboyant style of play to the Habs in 1951 and was an instant favorite at the Forum.
Geoffrion with a backhand shot, and that puck bouncing behind the hole means the hockey game is tied.
Along with Rocket Richard, he gave Montreal the most potent 1-2 punch at right wing the game has ever seen.
And a bullet shot by Boom Boom Geoffrion after 3 minutes and 12 seconds of play at the time.
The Calder Trophy as top rookie was the first in a long list of honors that Geoffrion would collect over his 16-year career.
He scored again, but the point fails to clear. Hits in front again, and Geoffrion scores to make it 3-0 to Montreal.
These included 2 scoring titles and a Most Valuable Player award in 1961, when he became only the second player in NHL history to notch 50 goals in a single season. In all, Boom Boom scored 393 goals, added 429 assists, and hoisted 6 Stanley Cups. In 1972, his relentless effort and sparkling offensive performances were rewarded with induction into the Hockey Hall of Fame. More than the awards and recognition, perhaps Bernie Boom Boom Geoffrion is best remembered as a man who had a whole generation of fans and future players winding up to take the big shot. For Hockey Heroes, I'm John Davidson.
This week's trivia question is, what NHLPA? Who is the
Be a Player Trivia is brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game.
Well, Jeopardy, isn't it?
This week's NHLPA trivia question is, name the only 2 goalies to record 4 shutouts in 1 playoff year. Berkey, we have to let Chaney try first. You probably know it.
You know this one?
Wasn't me.
1 playoff year, that would have probably been recently. Well, 1 year?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, that could be 1903 or...
Okay, one of the recent best Stanley Cup finals.
Brodeur?
No.
Are they both still playing?
They're both still playing.
Hasek?
Mike Vernon?
No.
Hasek?
Grant Fury?
No.
Hasek?
That was, you want it?
No. Dominic Hasek?
No.
Eddie Belfour?
No.
Felix Potvin?
No. He came pretty close. I think he had 3.
Yeah.
Kelly Rudy?
No.
Still playing. They're still playing?
They're both still playing.
They're in prime. They're one of the best goalies in the league right now.
4 shouts.
Oh, one's got to be Patrick Waugh.
No.
Holy smokes.
Johnny Blue? Richter. One is Mike Richter. Okay.
Wow, Mike
That's
Richter.
1.
Guy got drafted by New Jersey.
Drafted by New Jersey.
That's Sean Burke.
No, he's not. No. The other guy, the San Jose guy. No, Karya didn't play that many.
He's been a stalwart.
Eddie Belfour.
He's played a long years at the team he's been with.
Guy that plays out west.
McLean?
That's the answer to this week's trivia question. Mike Richter and Kirk McLean.
His low shot is stopped by Richter. Gordon center. Oh, what a save by Richter! And Graves has a breakaway. Great save by McLean.
That is it. We are about out of time. Be sure to join us next time. We're going to stay out here in the left coast, move our focus towards San Jose and the Sharks and Owen Nolan. You'll enjoy that. That's coming up next time on Be a Player, the Hockey Show. Until then, I'm Paul Romanuk for Craig Simpson. I'll talk to you later on.
Please contact us via the internet at NHLPA.com with your questions and comments about Be a Player, the Hockey Show. Be a Player, the Hockey Show on TSN has been brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. And by Upper Deck. You don't just watch the game, you play it.
Yeah. Hi, Paul. Living in Canada, you get an opportunity in the wintertime to go and play some ice hockey. Look at me though. Sorry.
Turn around.
Yeah, don't look at me then. I'll get out of here.
He centered his place in history with an unprecedented, cemented. I was going, that can't be cemented. And it was.
Okay, sorry, I blew that one for you, bud. Okay, I'll stand over here. Look at your shrubs.
Gotta go out of the room.
We're going to slide on up to the left coast.
Tennis, and you can go out there and have a good time on the tennis court and get away from the game.
Beautiful. I'm gonna know better.